Clear prop.
All right, power is set. Airspeed live. 45. San Antonio approach, Sting 234 Yankee Papa, VFR request.
November 234 Yankee Papa, San Antonio approach.
4 Yankee Papa is just off Stinson at 1,400 for 7,500. Type Tango Lima 20, request VFR flight following to Kilo Oscar Romeo Kilo.
November 4 Yankee Papa, squawk 25209 10. November 4 Yankee Papa, radar contact 3.5 miles east-northeast of Stinson. Flight heading 080, vector freight flying.
080 for Yankee Papa.
November 4 Yankee Papa to San Antonio, altimeter 29905, and what's your on-course heading to Oscar Romeo Kilo?
On course is going to be 038, and you said altimeter 29905 for Yankee Papa?
Affirmative.
We're up early today. We got a early morning start. We took off before sunrise, and we are headed from San Antonio up to North Little Rock. So it is a small field just north of Little Rock, and that's where the factory for this plane is. So airplanes need an annual inspection done yearly to make sure that everything looks good on them, and it was done last August. So I was running out of days that I actually had off, and I could fly up there to do this, but normally I would fly up, stay overnight for a day or two while they do the work, and then fly it back, but I don't have a couple days to do that, so I am flying it up there. And one of my good friends is flying his plane up, and then we're going to fly back together in his. So it's really nice of him to offer to do that. I really appreciate it. So I've been flying this plane a ton this year. I'm already at 100 hours in the last 9 months. So I've been getting a ton of use out of it, and actually the last month or two, I've been doing a bunch of time with my friend in his 172. So he's working towards his instrument rating, and in order to do that, you have to fly 15 hours with an instructor, and then it's 40 hours total. Most people end up doing all 40 hours with the instructor and having to pay for that. But instead, it's a minimum of 15 hours with the instructor, and then the other 25 hours you can do with a safety pilot. So as long as you know somebody that's rated in your same type of plane, you can fly with them. And so while you're wearing these special glasses so that you can't see outside the plane, you're only looking at the instruments, you need another pilot with you that's looking outside as your safety pilot. And so I've been doing that for him. And actually the really cool thing is that while we're doing that, both of us get to log hours. So every hour that I fly with him under the hood, he gets to log hours of instrument time, and I get to log hours of just regular time. So it works out well. And then when he's done with his 40 hours, then we're going to swap, and then I'm going to do my 40 hours in his plane. He'll be my safety pilot, and we'll both get our instrument rating. So it's something good to work for over the next 6 months to a year. Definitely makes you a better pilot. Not that I want to fly in bad weather, but it will at least enable me to fly safely if I get into bad weather, or if clouds are a little low when I go to take off. I can fly up through those clouds and then fly above clouds and then descend down through them at my destination. This plane is not IFR certified, so it would be more for when I either rent a 172 or eventually when we get our next plane, our next bigger plane, then I will be able to do that, but still definitely something good to work for. So we are just over halfway. Been flying for 2 hours and 12 minutes. We have an hour and 45 minutes to go. 210 miles. We're cruising at 118 knots right now. And we've burned just over 10 gallons of fuel. We have about 18 gallons left. So we'll make it up there on about 22 gallons. And have about 8 left in the tank. So this will be my first annual with this plane. I'm told from previous annuals, if nothing's wrong, it's usually somewhere around like $1,500 to $2,000 for it's like a day and a half of work. So the annual, basically they take the wings off, they do an inspection of everything, it gets an oil change, they test the ELT, which is an emergency locator in the event that something bad happens. They check the radios, the transponder, the GPS, and I already know there's a couple things that I'm going to need to get done. The fuel pressure sensor has been acting up now for like 7 or 8 months, but it actually reads high, and you would expect that if the fuel pressure was bad, then it would be reading low, or you wouldn't have enough fuel pressure. I guess this is like the 4th or 5th time that they've had to replace the fuel pressure sensor in this plane, and every time it always reads high. The last time that I was up there, we talked about it, and what they actually think that it is the fuel pressure sensor. So there's a 3-way split in the fuel lines, and then the fuel pressure sensor is down below that. And so the fuel that's sitting against the contacts in the sensor is the same fuel that's always sitting against the contacts in the fuel sensor. And they think that's why it might be going bad sooner. So what we're going to try to do this time is actually relocate the fuel pressure sensor up a little higher on the firewall, and that way when the plane is off and the fuel pressure drops, then the fuel will run out of that hose and it won't just be sitting against the sensor the entire time. So we're hoping that will solve it, and hopefully I won't have to replace the fuel pressure sensor in another 2 years probably, like everybody else has had to do. The grip, the foam on my actual sticks here, one of them kind of tore, and what Larry had been doing for a while now is just using black Coban wrapped around it to keep it on there. And every couple months the black Coban gets kind of sticky. And so what I actually did is, I don't know why I didn't think of this like when I first bought the plane, but I took the foam off of this stick and I switched them. So mine is fine now, it doesn't have any Coban on it, it's not sticky on my hand. Nobody really flies over here that often. You would think that this foam would just be like, $5 or $10. So they're not able to find the exact foam that will fit this. And so what I might do is I might just replace both of these with one of the Ray Allen G101 grips. It's just got a single button on the top, just like this for the radio. The Ray Allen grip is like $65 a piece. They're actually pretty reasonable. So I'm probably going to do that if they can't find the foam. One other thing that I've been wanting to do for a while now, they make a sunshade for this plane. So it's basically like a rail that runs all the way down here that's stuck to the canopy. And so you can retract it and it'll be out of view. And you know, I have amazing views in this canopy. I can see everything around. However, flying in Texas in the middle of the day, if it's like 2 or 3 o'clock, it gets really hot in this plane. And so it'd be nice to just like pull this shade down and not have the sun beating down on me. So the plan is to add that as well. And then I was actually having some autopilot problems. I figured it out myself. Otherwise, I was going to have to buy a new autopilot, and then it wouldn't have interfaced with my display here. It would have been like an external one to replace this gauge. I would have had to set the autopilot from there. For right now, the autopilot's working. Everything's working great. So it looks like I'm not going to have to do that, which is good because that was going to be like a $2,000 expense for a new autopilot. As far as I know, that is all I can think of that needs to be done for right now. So then, barring anything else that they find in the inspection, we'll see what the total comes out to. So you might have noticed that I'm not wearing my Lightspeed headset that I usually wear. This is my cheap Sarasota Avionics headset that was like $100. This does not have noise canceling, so it's a little bit louder, not terribly. But like a month ago when I flew, I went over to Houston. I was there for just the day and parked the plane at the airport. I didn't put the cover on it because I was like, oh, I'm going to be here for like 12 hours, not even. Left it outside in the sun. My canopy is like a magnifying glass in the summer, and I didn't even think about it, but I left the cover off. I came back, so I got back in the plane that evening, and there are these little controllers. It's like a box that holds a battery, and it's got a volume slider and Bluetooth controls, and turn them on and off. And both battery boxes from sitting in the sun just completely melted. The plastic deformed. It wouldn't close anymore. So I called Lightspeed, and it's like a $10 piece of plastic with 4 screws that screw in. And I called them, and they were like, oh yeah, we don't sell parts. You have to send that in, and it's $175 to repair each one. And so I was like, absolutely not. There's no way that I'm going to pay $175 for each one to send in. When I had already like unscrewed it at home, took it apart. It was an easy fix. I just needed the plastic. They're like, yeah, sorry, we don't sell those. My plan was actually just to sell them on eBay for, you know, a few $100s. Like, yeah, I realized that they're damaged. I mean, I was using a rubber band to hold it closed, and it was fine. The A&R worked. Everything else works. And I posted on Lightspeed's Facebook page, and I was like, hey, I'm really disappointed. Blah, blah, blah. And so that night, I was like, you know, I'm just going to sell them. I'm going to buy something else. And the next day, I almost ordered a headset that morning, and I didn't. And they emailed me, and they're like, hey, we saw your post. You know, we want to make it right. Give us the serial numbers and your address, and we'll send it to you, or send them to you. And I was like, you know, I would like to pay for them. You know, like, I am the one that broke it. I left it out in the sun. I would like to pay for the boxes, whatever they would be, and shipping. I think that's fair. And they actually, they would not take any money from me. They sent them out. They should be here in a couple days. So my headsets are sitting at home. I'm waiting for those parts. I'm going to swap out the battery boxes. And so I have this headset on the way up. So props to Lightspeed. You know, I was ready to switch brands, go with like Bose or the little over the ear ones with a little ear plug that goes in. They made it right. I'm very happy with them. I will continue using my Lightspeed headset, so you should see that back the next time that I fly. North Little Rock traffic, Sting 4 Yankee Papa, 3 miles to the west, going to make straight in for runway 05, North Little Rock.
Alright, should be all set. PFR, we got that guy plugged in. I'll just contact approach on the same. Cool. Alright, let's roll.
Okay. Do it.
North Little Rock, traffic, Skyhawk 2 Sierra Papa, going to be departing runway 5 with a rejoin the pattern, depart the area back to the west, North Little Rock.
North Little Rock traffic, RV 2291 Juliet is about 7 miles to the west, inbound for landing North Little Rock.
Got this guy on the runway. Alright, she's on the green. Everything looks good, airspeed's alive. Give this tractor plenty of room. That'd probably be kind of cool looking, actually.
Yeah. I guess he's probably used to it, but
Yeah.
Request left on 9er, taxi depart.
5 Delta Sierra, turn left runway 9er, taxi departure via Alpha.
Left on 9er, taxi depart via Alpha, 5 Delta Sierra.
is that Diamond a trainer?
Yeah. I have like a similar setup to yours, actually. They got G1000s in them now.